Interesting topic for us today, but really quick before we get into that, I want to say welcome to all the new subscribers. The channel's growing very rapidly, and I truly appreciate it. We're almost at the 1,000 mark, which means I can start doing community posts, which is very exciting. And the last video has probably 25,000 views more than I expected, which was awesome because it was my first time having my wife on the channel, and I think it's cool seeing that, and I think she also feels like it's pretty cool. So we're going to talk about a big double standard that I see when it comes to gay and bi characters. Specifically, we're going to touch on Tim Drake, the DC's Robin, one of them. But before we get into that, I actually went to bed last night and I was very aggravated because I got an email in the middle of the night that my Facebook password had been changed, and I tried multiple times to get in, and whoever did this changed the email and the phone number, so I got to contact them, and I imagine it's going to be an awful process. And then shortly after that, I got an email that says that my email that I used to sign into my PlayStation network is also hacked. So it's really aggravating. I didn't sleep that well because of it. But anyway, I woke up and I saw that the video was doing very well. And again, the subscribers are going up. So I really appreciate it from all of you. And I also got a message on Instagram, which I went through and I changed all my passwords and stuff on the remaining accounts I have, including this one. But I got a message from a comic pro an artist that I actually, we follow each other, and he's not only an artist, but he's also really into fitness, and I'm a bodybuilder, so we click on a lot of levels. He actually reached out asking how my comic was doing, which it really meant a lot. So, it was a cool way to start the day after a really aggravating evening. So, I'm about to start driving, but here we go. Talking about the Tim Drake double standard that I'm seeing, I think people, obviously the biggest defense from the people that are in support of them making Tim bi is that, oh, if you don't support it, then you're a bigot and you're a homophobe and, yada yada, and that list goes on. And we see that all the time. And it's just as simple, just as easy as playing the race card. We see it all too often, and it's not really the best argument in every scenario. But the double standard that I see, Tim Drake's been around for 30 years, and I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on the character, but many people who would probably be considered pretty close to an expert have said, if you look at his character and you read him decade after decade, even including his thought bubbles and, his inner monologue, there's no indication that he is gay or bisexual. So for him to come out, and then you have places like NPR and stuff like that are saying, oh, well, the signs were there all along if you were paying attention. So you see stuff like that, and it aggravates a lot of fans, like actual fans, because no, the signs were not there, and this is just a stunt. This is part of an agenda. It's a virtue signal. It's very disingenuous, and we're seeing it so often that it's not even like, wow, how bold of you, So many people throw the phrase around, and it's, they'll say, so brave, so fierce, so bold, all that crap. Stunning and brave, that's what they say. And it's true, though. It's I think it's a cowardly thing. But okay, sorry. The double standard is when these people that are in support of moves like this say, oh, well, you're a homophobic man baby because you're afraid to have a gay character or a bi character. And then the actual fans say, no, they're not bi or they're not gay. It would be as if, like, imagine if they took Iceman or maybe another character who was actually written gay in the first place, and after however many years, they just said, yeah, no, he's not gay, he's never been gay. The community that is in support of all the virtue signal crap would be like, no, he absolutely is gay, he absolutely is bi, it's canon, and they would argue it to the fucking death. They would. They would be all over Twitter and all over the shill sites arguing this as if, it was the end of the world. They'd be like, no, I don't care what Marvel or DC says. Like, this character is gay, always has been, always will be. They are bi, also these other characters are also gay and bi, and, then they might start I forget the word, but where they fantasize about certain characters having, if you know the word, write it down in the comments because I'm blanking on it right now, but where you're like fantasizing about two characters being together and you make it real in your own head and then you try to project that. But no, these people, if the studios and the publishers said, no, that character's not gay, they never have been, and yeah, they've been straight all along, these people would argue like their lives depended on it. They would go down swinging. And it's not just comics. There's so many fandoms that are similar to that. I don't give a shit about NASCAR. However, when I was growing up, I remember there was a lot of people in my neighborhood who were really big into NASCAR. I lived in upstate New York in kind of a shitty area, so yeah. Anyway, so, you know, I remember seeing Jeff Gordon shirts and I'm sure people had tattoos and they had jackets and hats and all sorts of stuff. And then the other day at the gym, I saw somebody else, some younger dude who had the number 24, and it was the exact same typeface that Jeff Gordon always had on his 24 car. And I can see, you know, people who are watching it now being like, oh, you like so-and-so, huh? And some classic fan from the 90s is going to be like, no, this is a Jeff Gordon shirt. You know, Jeff Gordon is number 24, and I don't care. It's like, you know, probably I don't give a fuck about basketball either, but Michael Jordan with 23. I know there's other players that have 23. I don't know, LeBron, I don't give a shit about him, but he might have 23. But a lot of people are always going to be like, no, that's MJ's number. You know, so fans of all different, you know, sports and genres and categories and mediums are going to be set in their ways to some extent. So if you try to change something, you try to change Superman's race, or you try to change somebody's sexuality or gender or whatever, fans, actual fans that have followed it are going to hold on to what they've known and they're going to fight. So again, if you take a gay character, Iceman, for example, and if Marvel came out and said, Iceman is actually straight and he has been all along, people would lose their minds. And then, of course, you know, if you wanted, you could call them a bigoted man baby, because that's what they would call you. But that's where I see a huge double standard. You know, they want to throw shade and they want to be, you know, pretty aggressive towards the fans that want to hold on to what has traditionally been there, and they see through the virtue signaling. But, you know, then those folks who are in support of it, they would never look at it from the other side. So that's something I like to do here on the channel. I like to look at a lot of hypocrisy and a lot of double standards and kind of call them out. For the most part, I really try to stay relatively neutral here within reason. Unless I see something really blatantly, extremely one-sided, and then maybe I'll want to oppose that. So anyway, let me know what you think. Do you think if they started making characters that have been gay or bi, if they started coming out saying, oh yeah, they're straight and they have been all along, do you think Twitter would actually implode and these people's minds would just leak out of their ears? Because I think something like that might happen. Yeah, and again, thank you guys for the support. Once we get to 1,000, I'm going to start doing community posts. It really means a lot. This is incredible. The growth of the channel over the last couple months and even the last week has made such a huge difference. So truly appreciate it. You guys are awesome. This community is growing and I love it. I'll talk to you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.